KFI, news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks.
I'm Mark Ronner from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The candidate in the governor recall says Disney is moving 2,000 jobs out of state because of failures from politicians in California. Republican John Cox says high taxes and strict regulations are killing jobs.
California is unaffordable for people to work in this state. They can't afford electricity, they can't afford water, they can't afford the houses. They have to step over homeless people living on the streets.
Disney says it's relocating employees because of Florida's business-friendly climate, low cost of living, and no state income tax. Governor Newsom has not responded to a request for comment. The recall election is set for September. California's Attorney General has sent a team to investigate a fatal police shooting in Hollywood. A new state law requires a review any time an unarmed person is shot and killed by police. The man in Hollywood was killed Thursday as he pointed a replica gun at LAPD officers. SoCal weather from KFI. Sunny and hot in the IE, highs in the mid-90s. We lead local. From the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Mark Ronner.
In Mid-City on the 10 east of La Brea Avenue, we got an accident that's got the left lane blocked. Santa Clarita on the 14 northbound at Sierra Highway. That's a vehicle that went over the Bateman that's blocking the right shoulder. In Pomona on the 10 east at the 57, that's a stall block in the center lane. Costa Mesa on the 405 south at Fairview. That's a accident that's been moved to the right shoulder. You stop and go from Harbor. In the Riverside 215 north at Columbia Avenue, it's a multi-vehicle crash. It has all lanes temporarily closed. You're backed up from the 60. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Zachary Tagan.
We all have wished at one time or another if we could just do two things at the same time. Well, if you're about to refinance or purchase a new home, here are two things you should absolutely do at the same time. Apply with at least two lenders. Mark Tice here from HMS Capital. Having two loans processed at the same time accomplishes a couple of important things. First, it maintains continuing competition for you, the customer, right up to the finish line. This results in a lower interest rate that saves you money. Second, it improves your chances of a successful transaction by eliminating the dependence on a single lender. HMS Capital requires no advance fees to apply, there's no appraisal fee, and no credit fee. With our razor-sharp interest rates, we are completely confident that no matter how many lenders you apply with, we will win your business. So call HMS Capital today and let us show you how doing two things at once really can save you money. Call HMS Capital at 833-255-5698. 833-255-5698. That's 833-255-5698. Or go to hmscapital.com.
HMS Capital Funding is a DBA of Golden Empire Inc. MLS ID number 2427. HMS Capital is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. License number 0130360. Equal housing lender.
833-255-5698.
Someone uses your toilet and it overflows. Can you imagine how embarrassing that is for your guests and for you? Hello, I'm John Okoyan, owner of Rooter Hero Plumbing. You're hosting a party, the water's on the floor, and your guest has to tell you that the toilet is backed up. And worst of all, you have to tell your guests that they can't use the bathroom. I shudder when I tell this story because it happened to me. Can you imagine? I own Rooter Hero Plumbing and my toilet overflowed. Talk about being humbled. Well, the truth is, it could happen to anyone. And the solution is to call 866-DRAIN-77. That's what I did, and our plumber was here within the hour. Not because I'm the owner, but that's just what we do. I'm so confident that you'll be satisfied with our services that I put my cell phone number on every business card. 866-DRAIN-77. That's 866-DRAIN-77.
Everybody needs a hero. RooterHero.com.
102-8886.
As life opens up, when to wear your mask may be a little confusing, but you can always be certain who to call if you find yourself in handcuffs, and not by choice. I'm attorney Darren Kavanoki of 1-800-NO-CUFFS. My team has the top DUI and criminal defense attorneys in California ready to help you. Case evaluations are free, and we're here day or night. 1-800-NO-CUFFS, because no one looks good in handcuffs, unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
KFI AM 640. Yeah. talk to Richard Serrett, call the wildcard line at 818-501-4109. The first-time caller line is 818-501-4721. To talk to Richard from east of the Rockies, call 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies, toll-free, call 800-618-8255. This is Coast to Coast AM with your guest host, Richard Serrett.
Hey, welcome back. B.B. King and Van the Man, If You Love Me. Psychic abilities could be a genetic trait, scientists say. Does psychic ability run in families? Well, a scientific team spent years trying to find out if psychic traits are genetic and are passed down from one generation to the next. Every culture in the world has folklore about families where people seem to be psychic, said Dr. Dean Randon, one of the world's premier investigators of psychic abilities and chief scientist at the Institute of Noetic Sciences. So that would suggest that there is an element of the talent that's able to be inherited. That in turn suggests there are genetics involved. There you go. There may be some psychics or seers in your family tree. You can read more about this story in the News section up at coasttocoastam.com. And if you love Coast to Coast and you're also looking for someone special in your life, you might want to check out Paranormal Date. Here with more, Tom Danheiser. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Richard, listen to your songs. It really makes me miss our friend, R. Gary Patterson.
Oh, yeah. He loved his music.
Such a guy.
He loved it.
Oh,
yeah.
Great guy. I want to ask you a question. If your average person goes on a date with somebody, a first date, and they sit at like a dinner table, and he immediately, let's say, brings up Bigfoot, what does the woman normally do?
she asks for the check.
Yes, so not all people think alike, right? Well, that's why we've created paranormaldate.com, so you can find people that do think like you do. And if you're a senior and you're looking for someone a bit more mature, we've also created paranormaldate.com/seniors. And both of these sites you can meet like-minded people that think like you do. So people should check it out. It's paranormaldate.com and paranormaldate.com/seniors.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tom.
You got it, Richard.
All right, more open lines when Coast continues. Don't go away.
Leading members of Congress claim that America's military is under attack from the woke far left, and they say top generals are ignoring the threat. Now Grant Stinchfield exposes the real dangers tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax. Millions are tuning into Newsmax and Stinchfield. Newsmax is on all the major cable systems. If your operator doesn't carry it, call them and tell them you want it, or you're going to switch. And download the free Newsmax app to your phone and start watching. Newsmax is real news for real people. Watch it. I do. It's great. Credit Karma Money is a new checking account that lets you win daily instant Karma purchase reimbursements on items up to $5,000. When you make a purchase between July 1st and July 23rd, you'll be entered to win $1 million. Visit creditkarma.com/winmoney. Instant Karma is sponsored by Credit Karma. No purchase necessary. Exclusions and terms apply. See rules. Banking services provided by MVB Bank Inc. Member FDIC. Maximum balance and transfer limits apply.
If your family depends on your income and something happened to you, what would happen to them? You need life insurance, and SelectQuote can help you get it at a price you can afford.
SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, who's in excellent health, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month.
Not in perfect health? Don't worry.
SelectQuote found Tanya, 40, who has type 2 diabetes, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $32 a month.
We shop companies like Protective, Prudential, American General, and others to find you the company with the best rates. Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford. For your free quote, call 1-800-885-7755. That's 1-800-885-7755. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-885-7755. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
right, open lines. Let's keep it going. Let's go east of the Rockies. Carolyn is in Kansas City. Hey, Carolyn, good morning.
Hi, Richard. It's an honor. Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure.
So, good topics tonight. I love movies and cinema symbolism. That was cool. As far as books and movies, I am currently rereading Brave New World after, when I first read it, I was 15, and it's a funny new take on the book. But that wasn't my topic for tonight.
All right, what do you have for us?
Well, I started writing a story. I was kind of taking it from real life, and it scared me because it was kind of true and kind of scary. My sister named her dog Bailey, okay, Baeli, and then everything just started falling apart. So that was kind of my story, is that she made an accidental evocation of this demon. And I didn't even have to make stuff up for the story. I was just taking it straight from real life. It was pretty scary, the way that things started to deteriorate in kind of a really bad way in her life. But I just wondered what you or the other folks out there thought about the possibility of, just maybe dipping a toe in the water, as my sister called it, as far as her demonic kind of playfulness, and it accidentally cursing you.
Right. I believe in an unseen world. I believe in demons. And I was mentioning this to Robert Sullivan earlier, and how I had this conversation with an exorcist in New York over the phone. And I asked him basically that same question, is it possible to inadvertently, let's say, invite these dark forces into your life? And he said, absolutely. And I took that to heart. I won't allow The Exorcist in the house. We will not watch it. And there are a lot of, dark movies that I have a real aversion to them. I'm not criticizing the filmmaker. They're practicing their craft. Maybe craft is the operative word. But I feel a heaviness and a darkness when these movies are on, and I run in the opposite direction. I can't watch them, and I sincerely believe you can if you allow those influences into your life, they can cause manifestations.
Well, I do plan on finishing the story, but perhaps in small doses with intermittent prayer. And the funny other thing, I do bounce back and forth between Denver and Kansas City, and I just recently arrived back here in Missouri, and I'm walking through my neighborhood, and I see an actual Bail sticker, like an art street sticker, stuck on a stop sign, and I was like, ew, that's weird. And then the next day, they had posted one of that demon Paimon that was mentioned by Robert tonight from the movie Hereditary or Heredity. And I'm like, I had never heard of that thing before until just saw the sticker, and I was like, what's that? And then I found out it was Paimon, and then I heard about the movie. So I'll probably watch that, but I might keep the lights on.
Good plan, Caroline. Thank you so much for calling. All right, let's go to the wild card line, New York City, Mayat. Hey, Mayat.
Hi, good morning. Really enjoyed the segment with Robert Sullivan. So let me put this question out to the beloved Coast family. There was a TV series and an episode, and I can't remember any particulars, that presaged September 11th, 01. So I want to first ask you, have you heard about that? Do you remember it? I was actually living in Canada, in your part of the world at the time, but I heard about it after the fact. So that's there. The other comment that I want to make is, are you familiar with, and I hope you have him back as a guest, because I'd love to hear more contact with the public with him. Such a great guest. But do you know whether he has juice with any movie makers and whether he might be able to or had any influence in getting movies made?
Are you asking if Robert has any influence in getting movies made?
Yes.
I'm not sure about that. Why do you ask? That's an interesting question.
Well, the reason why I asked, if I had gotten through, I would have asked him about, because he also was talking about literature, and I would have asked him about a book that's called The Most Dangerous Book in the World, 9/11 as Mass Ritual by S.K. Bain, B-A-I-N, by Trine Day. And I would love to see this book in a movie because it actually documents that years before September 11th, 01, that it was to be, and that it's encoded into the architecture. Maybe you could look into it and maybe do some interview with the author, Richard.
Sure. Well, we're coming up on the 20th anniversary, so that might be worth doing. I'll check it out.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, Maya. Well, you were asking also about TV shows that presaged or seemed to predict 9/11. There's the classic example, of course, is from the spin-off of the X-Files, which was The Lone Gunman, and I can't remember exactly whether it was in The Lone Gunman. They talked about buildings coming down, planes flying into buildings, something like that. But it was pretty close to what actually took place. But it was The Lone Gunman, which is one of the classic examples that's often given. Also The Simpsons. I think Robert Sullivan mentioned that. There are other examples throughout pop culture. Rap albums depicting the World Trade Center towers on fire. It just goes on and on. It's almost endless. It's remarkable. Let's see. Hey, it's Cornelius. Hey, Cornelius on the wildcard line. How are you?
Hey there. How you doing there, Ian? Putting back from the dead. It's nice to hear Maya and all the callers and listeners. And I want to salute Tom from La Jolla. And, of course, Tom, our great producer and stuff for Coast to Coast.
Right. You're looking for Ian, but it's not Ian. It's Richard tonight, Cornelius. It's not Ian. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
What's your name?
What's my name? Exactly. What is my name? It's Richard. Last time I checked.
There. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, Richard. That shows you. And when I fell out, I forgot everybody's name. I don't know if you knew about it, but in May, man, I hit over 1,000 sugar, and I happened to be on with Tom and George, and if I'd lasted one more day away from the hospital, I would have been a goner.
Oh my! How are you doing now?
Oh, I'm a whole lot better. Tommy and George know, and they kept in touch with me in the hospital, and I thank the Coast to Coast callers and listeners for praying for me. Ruth got me a radio and stuff, a C. Crane radio, and Mike the Millennial, the Miracle Man, I call him. He's a young fella that started listening to Coast at 12. So we got some great listeners, the callers, of course, Barry in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and then Wayne in Washington. But what I wanted to talk about, and Mayette kind of hit it too, I wanted to say another thing about you, Richard. You play some of the best music. I love Clarence Carter and B.B. King, and I tell you hit it just right with those two guys and their songs.
Oh, glad you're enjoying the music. I'm in a particularly kind of a bluesy mood. Tom mentioned this. It's true, and a couple of people on Twitter said, "Hey, you're really playing a lot of blues tonight." Yeah, it's not the kind of blues though that gets you down.
No,
it's kind of uplifting.
Blues.
Yeah.
And I wanted to help Miss Cindy out. She was feeling kind of down. I hope she has a Bible and she reads Psalm 91. That's a protection psalm in the Lord's Prayer. And if you read Proverbs, I do the daily Proverbs. They got one for each day of the month. And today's the 17th, 25-year anniversary of TWA 800. So.
Right. Yeah, Cindy was receiving unwelcome visitors that seemed to be like shadow people. Psalm 91.
Yes.
What is that? He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High.
And And the Proverbs, if you read those, they got each one for 31 days in the month, so you got Proverbs too. But Richard, I tell you, this guy y'all had on, that was a great conversation. Like I said, Mayette, she's something else. She's a tough old bird and everything. And
well, you're pretty tough too, Cornelius. It sounds like you battled through something, and you're back with us, and we're glad to have you with us.
Without
Cornelius,
prayers, Richard, I don't think I would have made it, because I was on death's door, and I spent a month in the hospital, and I got out at the end of May. So I spent all of May in that hospital and stuff, but thanks to the Lord, I was able to get out. But what I wanted to say, just like you were bringing up different TV shows, I think like Person of Interest, and that was a CBS show about, you know, these high-tech computers and stuff. And I don't know if you saw this or heard about it. You know, Anthony Bourdain is dead now. So they're doing a documentary on it.
Yes.
But they use artificial intelligence to read his parts or something like that. And the wife said she's never been told about it. She wanted to know about all this stuff.
Yeah, that caused a bit of a stir because what happened was, you know, they have thousands and thousands of hours of, obviously, of Bourdain, but they wanted to be sort of consistent with the narrative. And so there were a few gaps. So, for example, where he had written an email to somebody, and but we don't have it in his voice. So they had a bot, AI, right? So what they do is they pump thousands of hours of his voice into this device. However it works, I'm not really sure. But then it obviously is able to mimic Bourdain, and so they used it in a few instances, but they weren't really forthright. The filmmakers, they didn't say that. They didn't indicate that in the credits anywhere. I think if they had, people would have been all right with it, but they didn't mention it, and so it came out after. And I don't know. I want to see it. I was a fan of Anthony Bourdain. I met him a couple of times when I was producing for radio, and it seems like an interesting film. He was certainly an interesting guy.
Technology goes on. I call them, well, and they call them deep fakes and stuff. Do you think they'll be able to fool us eventually?
I think they could now. This is to me, this is really bleak. When it gets to a point when we can no longer differentiate reality from all these simulations, I mean, it's going to be so tumultuous and so unsettling. The classic example is if you look at, my boys will bring home some new video, new game, and it's almost the point now where I can't tell the difference between a simulation or a video and in reality. The graphics are so incredible. The AI involved in these games is so incredible. You know, every year the new NFL video games that come out, more and more lifelike and real. It's if we're not there already, and I'm sure, you know, that's the stuff we get for public consumption. Who knows what they have tucked away on some shelf at some R&D place. And we've seen the deep fake videos. Have you seen the one where it's someone who looks like Tom Cruise, but it's not Tom Cruise, and he's singing these songs, and I saw it on Instagram. I don't know how they do that exactly, but you know, we can't believe our own lying eyes anymore. That's where we're at. Cornelius, thanks for the call. You always give us some interesting things to think about. Let's see, we can squeeze in one more before the top of the hour. Let's say hi to Al is in Yuma, Arizona. Hey, Al, welcome.
Hey, Richard, thank you for taking my call. Hey, I wanted to call about a book and see if you'd ever read it or heard about it. It's called About Face by retired Colonel David A. Tackworth. Richard?
Yeah, sorry, David Tackworth. No, not...
Well, he joined the Army fraudulently at 15 years old. And in 1946, he was guarding German POWs in Italy. Anyway, to make a long story short, he retired. When he retired, he was the most decorated living soldier in America out of all the militaries. He had over 125 medals and decorations, and he's the one that while his last tour in Vietnam, he did a live report with the reporter, and he spilled the beans on the Army, how they were screwing up the war, how we were never going to win it the way they were fighting. And anyway, the Army, of course, they didn't like that, so they got rid of him. And he had quite a hassle with them afterwards. But you know, he was put in for the Medal of Honor, and that was buried because, of course, you know, he put a bad name on the Army, and they didn't like that. But his book, About Face, I recommend it to not only the Vietnam veterans, because he tells the truth, Richard, of what really went on there. But
all right, About Face, Colonel David H. Hackworth. All right, sounds like a good one. Thank you so much for the recommendation, Al, in Yuma, Arizona. All right, we're going to roll into the top of the hour, back on the other side with more of your wonderful phone calls on a wonderful evening/morning for Open Lines. Now, here's the lovely Audrey Hepburn, Moon River, on Coast to Coast AM.
I'm crossing you in style someday. Oh, dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. To
Still buying bottled water? Really? Eliminate the cost and hassle of buying, well, it's wasteful plastic water bottles with what it does to the environment. So let me suggest a Life Source whole house water filtration system, where you can have this delicious, clean, filtered water coming out of every tap in your home. And there are no filters to change. Once they install it, no maintenance at all. You actually forget about it. And what the Life Source water system does, reduces the odor and taste of chlorine from your water. And not only are you hydrating your body, your skin, your hair will thank you too. You're buying directly from the factory, which provides installation and customer service for the life of your system. They've been around for 36 years here in Southern California, and if you're looking to join a growing team, Life Source is hiring team members in your area. Call 800-334-5009, 800-334-5009. Visit LifeSourceWater.com. Life Source Water. Taste and feel the difference. The 911 system is totally broken. You call, you're on hold. You get a recording saying the first available operator will get to you. People call 911 and they ask for recipes for cornbread. And what's even worse, the 911 operator, Bill Handel. Listen to this.
Mornings from 6 to 10 on KFI.
All right. People don't understand chemical castration. I used to think they take away your man marbles. They just take them away. The man marbles? Yeah.
John and Ken, weekdays 2 to 6 on KFI.
That's the only thing I ever win, is guessing at the spread. If I would have bet it, lost. You know, they say at the racetrack, when Conway has money on a horse, the flag is up, you lose.
The Tim Conway Jr. Show, weeknights at 6 on KFI.
There's a movement rebelling against the extinction of our species. There's more of us than ever. In fact, there's too many people. Oh my God, the traffic I was in today, I was yelling extinction out my window. We could use a good extinction.
John and Ken, weekdays 2 to 6 on KFI. KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk. KFI, AM 640. Talk without the tilt.
KFI.
And KOSC HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Gone missing. I'm Brian Berman from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Human remains have been found in an area of the Bayona wetlands where police and others have been searching for a missing woman.
Colby story actually originally went missing sometime around December of last year.
LAPD officer Jader Chavez says a search of the 600-acre site near Marina Del Rey began Friday morning when police got some new info.
There was a Good Samaritan that came up and actually turned in some of the missing person's personal property.
The story was at Venice Beach in December when she called a friend asking for help finding her car keys. They found them and Story got in her car and left. She never made it home. Her car was later impounded from a parking lot in Marina Del Rey. The LA County Coroner's Office will have to identify the remains. A man known as the Hollywood Ripper has been sentenced to death for the brutal stabbing murders of 2 women and the attempted murder of another. A woman killed in 2001 was supposed to go out with actor Ashton Kutcher the day she was killed. The jury that convicted Michael Gargiulo in 2019 recommended the death penalty. His lawyers tried Friday to get a reduced sentence, citing support from DA Gascon. A candidate in the governor recall says Disney is moving 2,000 jobs out of state because of failures from politicians in California. Republican John Cox says high taxes and strict regulations are killing jobs.
California is unaffordable for people to work in this state. They can't afford electricity, they can't afford water, they can't afford the houses. They have to step over homeless people living on the street.
Disney says it's relocating employees because of Florida's business-friendly climate, low cost of living, and no state income tax. Governor Newsom has not responded to a request for comment. The recall election is set for September. The Jungle Cruise ride at Disneyland has reopened with some culturally sensitive changes. The ride has been closed for several months to address complaints about the negative ways Native people were displayed. The company says the updated ride includes new scenes and displays with a cast of culturally diverse characters. An ice cream company based in New York says its macaroni and cheese ice cream is a hit. Van Leeuwen Ice Cream released the Kraft mac and cheese flavor earlier this week, and the company says the ice cream has already sold out on its website. SoCal weather from KFI. Foggy and cloudy in the morning, sunny by the afternoon, low to mid-70s at the beaches, highs in the lower to mid-80s in the inland LA and OC. Inland valleys will be in the mid-80s to mid-90s. In the Inland Empire, mostly sunny skies by the afternoon. Highs will be in the mid-90s. Right now it's 64 degrees in Sherman Oaks, 64 degrees in Culver City, 66 degrees in Brea, and 70 in Irvine. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Brian Bruman.
Good news out of Mid-City on the 10 east of La Brea Avenue. That's an earlier accident that is cleared from lanes. An accident on the 14 northbound at Crown Valley Road. That's an accident that's got a vehicle that went over the embankment block on the right shoulder. In Costa Mesa on the 405 southbound at Fairview Road. That's an accident that's been moved to the right shoulder. You stop and go from about Harbor. And then Riverside, the 215 north before Columbia. That's a multi-vehicle crash that has all lanes temporarily closed off. You stop and go from the Highway 60 and the 91. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Zachary Fagan.
Hey, Gary. How are things?
Things are great, but I crushed my mortgage payment with owning without even leaving my couch. I got a no closing cost refi at a great low rate, and owning did it all in less than 3 weeks. It was easy, no muss, no fuss.
Be like Gary. Call Owning at 855-5-OWNING and crush your mortgage payment with today's 15-year fixed refi at 1.99% rate at APR with no closing costs. None. Zero. Even if you've refinanced recently, call 855-5-OWNING and let us crush your monthly payment even more. That's 855-5-OWNING or log on to owning.com.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, subject to credit approval. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
You can crush it too with a 15-year fixed 1.99% rate in APR with absolutely no closing costs.
Make it a summer to remember with Audible. It delivers everything you love listening to all in one app. Stream the newest hot releases, bestsellers, Audible originals, popular podcasts, and more. Start listening free with a 30-day trial at audible.com.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Get sizzling solar savings now with Semper Solaris, your local veteran-owned solar and battery storage contractor. Being veteran-owned matters. Here's veteran, founder, and owner Kelly Shawhan.
In the military, when you give your word, it just is your word. Work hard and keep your word, and that's what we do every single day. Everybody did exactly what they said they were going to do, and that really impressed me. I've heard about Semper Solaris and found out that they were veterans, so I knew they were going to do the job right.
Declare your energy independence. Choose solar panels made in America. We get the job done right with esprit de corps and honor. Add Tesla Powerwall and prepare for blackouts. Grab the federal 26% solar and battery tax credit. No interest or payments until 2022. Call 415-354-2969. 415-354-2969. Or visit sempersolaris.com. 26% federal tax credit based on eligibility. Consult your tax advisor. Cannot be combined with any other offers on approved credit. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Expires 8/31/21. CSLP number 978152.
Hey, it's John and Ken from Kfi Am 640. If you haven't downloaded the free iHeartRadio app yet, now's the perfect time. Because for the first time ever, all free users can create unlimited playlists. iHeartRadio makes it super easy to create playlists for any mood or occasion. And here's one way to get started. Just grab a song playing on your favorite station and start a playlist with that. Easiest of all, it's totally free. Add as many songs, create as many playlists, all for free. Number one for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one app. iHeartRadio.
KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk.
Louder as I walk towards whatever life may bring. Just outside Austin, high as I've ever been.
To talk to Richard Serrett, call the wildcard line at 818-501-4109. The first-time caller line is 818-501-4721. To talk to Richard from east of the Rockies, call 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies, toll-free, call 800-618-8255. This is Coast to Coast AM. With your guest host, Richard Serrett.
Sitting in for George Norrie. Say hello on Twitter, at Richard Serrett. This song makes me want to move to Texas. Lucas Nelson and the Promise of the Rio, just outside of Austin. A mysterious ruined villa was recently discovered on a beach in Costa del Sol, El Salvador, leaving tourists scratching their heads at how it got there. One of the last things you'd expect to find washed up on a tropical beach is a concrete villa. And yet, that's exactly the kind of bizarre attraction that beachgoers in the picturesque La Puntilla beach are treated to these days. It's unclear how the abandoned home ended up on the popular beach, but it seems to have been there a while, as it is covered up with what appears to be recent graffiti. One of the most popular theories is that the villa was the victim of a powerful hurricane that hit El Salvador over 2 decades ago. You can read more about this in the news section and some interesting pictures there as well. That's up at coasttocoastam.com. And if you like what you hear tonight, this morning, and you want to find out more about what I do, you can go to my website, strangeplanet.ca. Strangeplanet.ca. Everything is right there. All of my projects, strangeplanet.ca. You can now hear me weekday afternoons, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern,